Jamison, on the other hand, learned a lot of Spanish while he was living in California, and got to the point where he was either fluent or very close to being fluent. He was really proud of himself for getting good at Spanish. He was excited about it. He worked at like a lumber company in California after rehab, and he was getting so good at Spanish, a huge number of his customers would be people who spoke primarily Spanish. And so when they came up, before they even tried to speak English, he would just start talking to them in Spanish, and he texted me and told me that it was always kind of funny to see how like amused and like kind of pleased they were that this like skinny white kid just started talking to him in Spanish. Like they would do all of their business, the entire transaction or whatever, in Spanish.
Oh, cool! The trams are still here!
Sora, it hasn't been that long.
Feels like it.
Maybe you're feeling what Roxas feels because he misses home.
So wait, if Roxas feels something, then we're in the right place. Roxas, I'm gonna find you. Huh?
What is that?
Nobody's!
Michael Jackson. Oh man, a lot of them. This is a fantastic arrangement of this song.
Come on!
Oh, these guys. Like the warp sniper guys. Zigbar's, I think they're Zigbar's nobodies. Or the ones that correspond to Zigbar.
What was that voice? I know I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
You sure it wasn't the wind? Or something else?
I'm pretty sure.
Where'd they come from?
Get the ice cream later.
What? Hold up! See? Voices! New ones? What? Hayner? Pence? Olette?
What is that?
Hey, Sora! Hello, goodbye!
Oh. Go! We got this!
Good God, this thing has a lot of health.
Take this! Go! Here we go!
Wow. kind of reminds me of Nier Automata. Fight with Eve. Oh, what? Did not take down the whole life bar.
Nice fighting. Thanks, Sora.
Hayner, Pence, Olette, it's been ages.
What? It hasn't been that long.
You see?
Donald, Goofy, how are ya?
We're good.
Howdy there, Olette.
So does this mean that weird stuff's going down again?
You kidding, Pence? When have we ever seen a tornado of shadowy blobs before? It's not weird. This is unprecedented.
I guess it is. The creatures from the last time were bright white. These things must be new. Man, I can't wait to get to sleuthin'.
We're already done with the school project, silly. Whatever's going on, you wouldn't be here unless you had a good reason.
Which is?
Well, actually, we're looking for Roxas.
Roxas?
That's funny. I don't know any Roxas, but the name sounds familiar.
Maybe we bumped into him somewhere.
That's one way to put it.
Actually, he might have been friends with another version of you.
This photograph.
Yeah, we've got the same one.
Oh yeah, the other Twilight Town.
It's like one of those spot the differences puzzles, except really easy. I guess in that town, we're friends with this Roxas person.
Sora, let us help you track Roxas down.
Really?
Sure, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
Great, then let's all go ask around town. If alternate us knew Roxas, then maybe alternate other folks did too.
Sora, you three should go to the place in the photo. It's the old mansion. The three of us will cover places in town.
Thanks. Oh yeah, I got this phone thingy that takes pictures. Want to snap a photo while we're all here?
Sure.
That's a great idea. Wait, who's taking it?
Why do I have to do it?
Hey, tough luck. You drew the short straw.
It's okay. I'm sitting out of the photo with you, Donald.
Can you take the photograph?
Everybody smile!
Wow, that came out great.
Oh, a lucky emblem.
Lucky emblem.
Oh yeah, they are huge right now. Supposedly, these things are hidden all over town. And if you get a picture of them, they'll bring you good luck.
Cool. Wait, look guys, is that?
You're right. I see it too.
Should the kid?
I knew it.
Good luck, because they're not all this easy to find.
Okay, we better start asking around. You start by checking out the old mansion. We'll catch up.
Got it.
You see any lucky emblems?
Soon as we can, we're gonna go on a big adventure, just like you and Uncle Donald.
Seriously craving ice cream.
We sure could use your business. We got more gummy blocks for you to choose from.
Ooh. The Keyblade Forge. Flame core, water core.
Kid's got skills. Kid's got skills.
Whoa! And the crowd goes wild.
Today I'm goofing off. Next week's test is gonna destroy you.
Yeah. Yeah!
Summer break just ended, man.
Yeah! Ooh, what's all this about? see. Nice!
I'll help you find the next one.
It ain't ice cream without a movie.
Dark magic.
Yeah!
Gosh, it's been down.
Yeah!
Is that Troy Baker?
Let's see. Let's see.
Nice picture, Sora.
I'm seriously craving ice cream.
Oh.
So Hayner and Pence and I are friends in the other Twilight Town. I'm not surprised. I hope we can find someone who knows Roxas. I hope we can find...
Go ahead and reset the recording real quick.
Sorry, my mom said I had to mow the dog.
Mow the dog.
It's nice to be outside.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Such a strange relationship I have with this series. Loved the first game. It was charming and simple and clean. Go ahead and make that joke. I was 14, my brother was 9. And we saved up one summer, kind of starting before summer, but we didn't have a PlayStation 2. We didn't even, I don't think we even knew about Kingdom Hearts. We saved our money up for a PlayStation 2 because our friend Kenny had one. And we really wanted to play Final Fantasy VII. And it was $200, so we two kids did whatever we could to earn money. Saved up $200, bought the PlayStation 2 together. Played Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX. Jamison really liked Final Fantasy IX. And then we got Kingdom Hearts. We both fell in love with that when he was 9.
What do you kiddos want for dinner?
And we loved 1. And then we were waiting. I didn't even know there was going to be a sequel. But 2 was announced along with Chain of Memories. And I was really excited, so I got the Game Boy Advance. Or I might have already had it, I can't remember. Anyway, got Chain of Memories, played that. Was really excited for like answers to the questions that were brought up in Chain of Memories. Because it seemed really intriguing. But then 2 was really disappointing for me, like a lot of retconning. I didn't feel like Chain of Memories had retconned anything. I feel like it just added new, interesting stuff. But then 2, all of a sudden, it's like, that wasn't Ansem. You thought that was a guy who took Ansem's name for some reason. Which shouldn't matter, but it just does, because like it so obviously wasn't something they planned when they, like in the first game, the entire first game, you think that the story is as simple as Ansem, the leader of Hollow Bastion, and he looks like he would be the leader of Hollow Bastion, was researching the heart and fell into darkness, whatever. And that was very obviously what they intended. There was nothing more to it. And then when he like came up with ideas for 2, he decided he had to change stuff. And you can say it wasn't a retcon because it explains it, but it was totally... Like, I'm not inside the guy's mind, but he did not plan for that stuff. And he's retconned more and more as the series has gone on. He's Birth by Sleep has added in a bunch of stuff. At the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, the 3 kids want to like set out and see if there's other worlds out there. And I thought it was just because they were curious, because they had such a small world they lived on, and I liked that. And then Birth by Sleep decides to retcon in, like, Terra visited the island and, like, met Riku and inspired him, and Riku just kept it secret for some reason. And if you know that there are other worlds out there because someone literally came from another world and talked to you, that's not the same as just being intrigued and wanting to find out what's out there. I mean, well, it's not the same as like being curious on your own, because it's like it goes from like a philosophical, like, is there more than this type of question? Maybe that's not philosophical, but it goes from that kind of question to, I know there's more than this, I wonder what it is, I'd like to see it. And I don't know, you might argue that's not a big deal, and it's not. Like, no one's forcing me to play the games, but I can criticize it. Like, and I don't like that. I don't like all the retconning. So I've made peace with the fact that the story is not something I'm going to enjoy much anymore for its own sake, but just the spirit, the essence of the games, the charm, the memories, nostalgia. I can still enjoy that, I think.
Heartless!
What do you think they're up to?
Look! On that branch! The Heartless have him surrounded!
Oh no!
Watch out!
Yeah!
Oh, I should probably be using my powered up Keyblade.
Already! Gosh, they're not making it easy for us.
Oh, how long have I been playing? Like, I just noticed PlayStation button symbols are coming out when you use the PlayStation Keyblade. That is pretty funny.
Here we go! Back off!
My camera ran out of battery, it seems like, or else ran out of space. Splash run. Is this aerial? Oh no. It's splash time.
Well, take care.
See ya. That's his only appearance in the game. It's like, yeah, we got Ratatouille and check that one off the list. Oh, what?
Whoa! What is... What? Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa!
Looky! That little feller's parked on your head.
Huh? Would you cut that? Whoa! Huh?
Sora, you've been hijacked.
You know, maybe he wants you to pick up the fruit for him.
Okay, that's fine, but I can do it by myself. I just need to collect the fruit? Right then. So, what are you gonna do with all this anyway? Huh?
Oh.
Well, okay. You be careful going home.
Bye-bye.
See you around. Next stop, the mansion.
That was close.
That little feller sure seemed happy.
Where'd he go? Yeah, I just can't do anything until later. Oh, hi.
Yeah! Whoa, whoa. Yeah!
Playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh, it's the year 2019.
Back off!
Whew, I gotta figure out how to cycle between those top, those like options that pop up above the command thing, attacks. This version of Twilight Town is great. It's really good seeing it in PlayStation 4 era graphics. I think the woods are more interesting this way. It's like I was saying earlier, I think, well, I think I was saying it earlier. It might have been on the file that I forgot to press record on, but I'm sitting here talking to myself. But, I appreciate that it's so much more geared towards, like, exploration and feeling like you're in a place. Kingdom Hearts 2's maps were just, like, flat,
I see
linear,
it.
like,
That building up ahead.
battle screens, which I really didn't like. I like the exploration of Kingdom Hearts 1. And Dream Drop Distance was really fun in that way as well. Parsley.
Sora, we gotta go to the old mansion.
Oh, yep.
I want to help you get for lucky emblems. I want to...
Keep your eyes peeled. Those lucky emblems could be anywhere. So much for hoping Twilight Town would be safe. So much for...
Oh man. I haven't saved since then. Really? I didn't save in Twilight Town? Oh, that would have been awful to have to redo all that stuff. But I didn't die in one of these fights.
What do you think, guys? This place is even creepier than I remember.
Well, they do say that this mansion is haunted.
Hey there!
Thanks for the heart attack!
Oh, what? Did I scare you?
Our bad.
So how did it go? Did you get any leads?
Nope, afraid not. The asking around thing was a total bust.
Yep. This old mansion is our last hope.
You guys ready?
Another Twilight Town awaits.
Yeah.
I'm in my classroom. Of course, I had to record a video in here at some point, because Jamison and I were both English teachers in different countries. So I'm assuming if you're watching my channel, there's a pretty good chance you know me already, but if you don't, I teach English in South Korea. Been here for about almost 4 years. I teach elementary school ages like 10 to 12-ish. And I really like it. I'm happier here than I've ever been for the most part. Jamison taught English in Bogota, Colombia, South America. Jamison, he didn't get to do it as long as I've been here. I don't think he even made it a full year in Colombia before he died. But he loved it. He told me that he really liked teaching. He had some difficulty. It's harder for him to find like a good stable job out there than it's been for me. He didn't have a college degree. He had some complications with his visa at one point, so his first job that he liked a lot was stopped being able to legally employ him, so he had to find another one. I think he got paid the same or maybe even a little bit more, but the housing was not provided at that second job, so it became a lot more difficult for him. But anyway. I've been in Korea long enough to where I'm very ashamed of how little Korean I've learned. When I first came here, I was studying pretty hardcore by myself. I was pretty dedicated. I learned how to read the alphabet in 2 or 3 days. And I mean, that's easy. Like, truly, learning the Korean alphabet's extremely easy. But studying hardcore, didn't really have friends here. And the group I arrived with, I didn't really talk to them all that much. I was kind of in a weird point in my life. But I ended up making some friends, becoming more social, and none of the Americans really want to learn Korean. That's not true. A lot of Americans don't bother to learn any Korean. It's extremely entitled and privileged, and I don't like that at all. But I can't talk too much because I haven't learned as much as I should have for how long I've been here. Anyway, got into that because Jamison, on the other hand, learned a lot of Spanish while he was living in California. And got to the point where he was either fluent or very close to being fluent. So he was like prepared when he went to Colombia. He was learning different dialects of like different countries in South America. He traveled some. He went to Ecuador. He has a picture of him sitting in front of like an inactive volcano. Jamison, he was really proud of himself for getting good at Spanish. He was excited about it. He worked at like a lumber company in California after rehab, and he was getting so good at Spanish, a huge number of his customers would be people who spoke primarily Spanish. And so when they came up, before they even tried to speak English, he would just start talking to them in Spanish. And he texted me and told me that it was always kind of funny to see how like amused and like kind of pleased they were that this like skinny white kid just started talking to him in Spanish. Like they would do all of their business, the entire transaction or whatever, in Spanish. I would not be able to pull that off in Korean, not without either using a translator app, or maybe in some cases I can do it, but I probably sound like an idiot. Like I probably sound like a baby or a caveman or something. But I wound up in Korea. I guess this is tangentially related. The first few months in Korea, well, the first like month-ish was pretty rough. Not because of Korea at all. It wasn't Korea's fault. It was stuff I was going through in my life. I was coming off of the worst year of my entire life. About 15 months of just misery. Don't want to go into too much detail. I had been engaged after being with someone for more than 5 years. Engagement fell through. When we had planned on going to Korea together at some point. But, yeah, it didn't happen. That was a bad year. I'm not going to go into it any more than that, but, got to Korea, and I hit, like, the lowest point of my life, probably in Korea, where I mean, like, nothing bad, like, I wasn't suicidal or I wasn't going to do anything, but I just, like, the most depressed and hopeless I'd ever felt. Like, nothing would ever change, and I'd never be able to overcome a lot of the stuff that had kind of held me back socially and, I don't know, just in general in my life, I guess. Low self-esteem issues. Anyway. Got over that, and then began, like, the most deliriously happy time in my entire life. I have never been as happy since. Don't know if I ever will. I'd like to think that my best days are still ahead of me. I think that's a great way to live. That my best and happiest times are still ahead of me. But I don't know. The first year in Korea was fantastic. But anyway, Jamison, when the bad thing first happened, when me and my ex-fiancée split, I was a wreck, and Jamison actually reached out to me. I don't remember, it came up somehow, we were talking, and Jamison said he was just sorry for me and he could only imagine the pain that I must feel. And that, even just like saying that now, just the fact that Jamison and I didn't really talk like that usually, and so the fact that he said that to me, it was just like a real outstretched hand of love. Like, and then he was happy for me when I was happy in Korea when things got better. And I tried to be happy, and well, I didn't try to be, like, when he started getting more like clean from drugs, when it seemed like the rehab was working really well for him. The people, like the counselors of the center, were saying really positive things about him. When all that stuff was happening, and then like he got out of rehab and got that job at the lumber company, and then like his boss was praising him for, like, Jamison didn't have a car. He would like ride his bike to work every day, but Jamison was getting there earlier and he was like working really hard and doing really well, and his boss was praising him, and then Jamison got promoted. He was doing really well, and I didn't even have to try to be happy, of course. What I said earlier, I was just happy. I was thrilled. I was so proud of him. I thought he was in the clear. But yeah, I tried to be super supportive of him. When I had to leave Seattle, the trajectory of my life is Clarksville, Tennessee, Seattle, Washington, and then Korea. I went to Korea a couple months after I left Seattle, brief interlude back in Clarksville. When I had to leave Seattle, Seattle was such a wonderful place. I loved it so much that, like, last few days there, I just cried on and off, like by myself or with friends. Like a couple times I'd be with people and I would turn my back on them and I would silently, I'd be like shaking with like sobs, just weeping, because I was just so sad to leave I was so sad to leave Seattle. I just loved it so much there. I felt like I'd grown so much there. And I didn't want people to see me, you know, crying just out of the blue, so I would turn around and do that. But I was so happy. That didn't make any sense. Got to Korea and I was so happy. And then when Jamison was preparing to leave California to go to Colombia, he was really sad to leave California. He was really nervous. He was excited. He was excited to go to Colombia. He was also a little scared. But he talked about being sad to leave California, and we kind of bonded over that a little bit. I told him, I know exactly how you feel. You go to a wonderful place. It's so far removed from everything you've known your entire life, and you make new friends, you meet new people, and Jamison just couldn't say enough positive things about California. He'd go hiking, there were deserts, there were beaches, talked about all the different cultures he'd see there. He just had a fantastic, amazing time. He loved his 3 to 4 years there. And we talked about that some, bonded over that some. I was trying to be supportive, and it was just nice to have something to talk about with my little brother, who seemed to be on his way to living a really cool life. I wish I could have visited him there. We went through California together briefly. We stayed in Barstow one night and then Redding the next night. It was when we were driving to Seattle together. When I was moving to Seattle, he helped us. That's a story for another video. For real, gonna be in another video. But yeah, I never went and saw him there. Never really had time. I was in Korea. I really would have loved to. I'm gonna go at some point if I can. Maybe this summer. I'm gonna go there, and his friend Josh and I, I'm gonna plug his SoundCloud again, because he's good. But he and Jamison made music together. But hopefully Josh will be able to take me around and show me what Jamison's life was there, where he lived, where he worked, maybe where they recorded music. I think it was just in their room though, but I mean, that'd be cool. I'd like to see it. The last time Jamison and I actually saw each other in person was 2013. He helped me move to Seattle, and then he flew back to Clarksville after that, and I stayed in Seattle. About a year later, I went back to visit, and then the following Thanksgiving time, I went back to visit again. It was around that time that my mom discovered, as I said in a previous video, that Jamison had stopped going to school and had taken out a loan to use to buy drugs. When she told me about that, I was getting ready to go. I didn't see him after she said that. So I had a couple energy drinks, like Monster coffees. One of them was like the toffee flavor, I'm pretty sure. Totally irrelevant, but I like being able to flex my ridiculous memory. So yeah, I had a couple Monster coffees that I didn't want to drink before getting on the plane. Like I'd wanted to drink them, but I just hadn't. And so I left them in the fridge, and I texted Jamison, knowing that my mom had found out the thing. I hadn't known either, but texted Jamison, told him there's a couple Monster coffees in the fridge for you. You're not going to have a good rest of the day, but you can have those coffees. And Jamison was just like, okay. And because I knew that my mom was going to give him a talking to. Yeah, that was the last time I saw Jamison in person, was 2013, that visit home. We talked over Facebook Messenger some, and we Skyped exactly twice. Once with him and his girlfriend when they were visiting my dad. My uncle was there, my stepmom. We Skyped with them, and then later we Skyped, me and my mom and Jamison, the three of us, we Skyped. But that was like the last time I heard his voice in real time, I guess. And he died in 2018. Hadn't seen him in 5 years. The times when I'd gone back to visit, he'd still been on drugs. So he was so far. This is what drugs will do. Our childhood friend Elisa, who grew up next door to us, like literally our next door neighbor for years and years and years. We'd play together all the time. We'd always have sleepovers with her and her brother. For her wedding, Jamison just didn't go because he just, I don't know if he was like sleeping or what, but if he was sleeping, if he was oversleeping, it was because of he'd been getting up to, you know, probably not great stuff the night before until early. He didn't go to her wedding. I wanted him to go with my mom to pick me up from the airport one of the times I visited home again when he hadn't seen me in like a year. And he just didn't go with her. He just didn't want to. He had other stuff to do or something. And the thing is, like, he had nothing going on in his life, so the other stuff to do was probably, I mean, who knows, but it was probably drug related. I'm not mad at him, and I'm not like trashing him or saying, look how bad he is. Like, he was in the grip of drugs, and I'm trying to illustrate what that'll do. Stuff that should be hugely significant to you, like the wedding of someone you've grown up alongside, or, you know, going to pick up your brother that you haven't seen in a year. Just stuff that should be a bigger deal to you. It's just kind of like, I'd rather watch a movie on the couch, or I'd rather sleep, or I'd rather pace around and flip my cell phone in my hand just to give my hand something to do because I'm so restless. He used to do that a lot, looking like he couldn't sit still. Anyway, that's going back in time. He got better. And then he relapsed, of course. He died, but... Well, this has gone all over the place. I guess I can just kind of stop saying that, like all these are going to go all over the place. The people it seems Jamison's school liked him. Seems like he got on well with his students. He was planning to go back to the States if he hadn't, you know, relapsed and died. He was planning to go back to the States and try to figure out a way to teach again someday, and he told me, I was talking about like maybe you could come to Korea, but he told me that he would really like, if he taught again, he would really like to teach native Spanish speakers again. I don't know, he just fell in love with the culture down there. Really wish he could have visited my school. Really wish I could have brought him into my classroom and had him watch me teach a class and he could teach a class. My dad visited last year and we taught a special class about him making his bows and arrows and his knives and stuff, like all the crafty stuff he does. And the kids were fascinated by that. It's so far removed from anything they see growing up in Korea, like in like academies all day studying. He's like this country guy who like lives with his house surrounded on 3 sides by woods. He has a workbench and makes bows and arrows decorated with snakeskin, makes knives for hunting, decorates the sheaths. Like, my dad is an artist. Getting off track here, but the kids were fascinated by that, and I think they would have really gotten a kick out of Jamison. They probably would have pointed out that he was taller than me and better looking because his spine's not all curved. Me. What happened to my genetics? But anyway, wish he could have come here. I've updated my introduction PowerPoint that I show to the kids at the beginning of every year, like the students who haven't had me before. I updated it to talk about Jamison a lot more, show some of his artwork and stuff. Just to let them know kind of where I'm coming from, that I used to have a brother, and that he was talented. Just keep him alive in some small way, I guess. And that's what these videos are for, obviously. I need to go home now. Bye.